Hey guys, how
Hi.
are you? Welcome to our new live streaming video for you all. So, my name is Hernan. I'm a technical game designer for Spacelords, and today I have with me Javi Vela.
Hi, I'm Javi Vela. I'm game designer. I'm the weapons guy.
So yeah, he's the weapons guy, and I am the mission guy. So
It's the perfect
it's like
combination.
the perfect combination we have today. So what could go wrong?
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong? So yeah. Today in our streaming, we will play like last time, like a couple of matches, maybe three matches
Maybe
in different levels, and we will have like some behind the scenes comments, and it will be both on weapon making,
weapons. Yeah.
right?
I'm going to talk about 3 weapons.
And I will be talking about 3 missions. And as we keep playing and doing all that stuff, of course, we will try to keep reading all your questions and keep answering as much as we can. So just so that you take this into account, please don't save the questions for the end, because maybe in the final section of Q&A, maybe we will already have run out of
Don't
time.
be shy.
So yeah, don't be shy. Just ask the questions straight ahead, and we'll try to answer the questions as we keep explaining stuff. Also, you're of course totally allowed to ask questions about where we're talking or some other subject. So, shall we start now,
Let's
Bella?
start.
Okay,
Alright.
let's go for it.
Let's go. We are ready.
So we are ready to queue. So, so yeah, we will try to do Fistful and the Enemy Within
Ooh.
and Low Blow for today. Let's see if we have any luck. So yes, and also like, could you please like show us like
Yeah, sure.
the model for the weapons that we will be trying
Okay.
to
let's
showcase today?
Showcase the first one, which is Invicta, the Aneska's old weapon. In my opinion, one of the coolest weapons we have in the game.
Yeah, it's awesome. So that's Invicta for Aneska, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and which other weapons we will try to use today in today's matches?
So, Soma's Catharsis.
Oh, Catharsis.
This is one of my favorite weapons
In the whole game, you
in
mean?
the whole game. I completely love it.
You mean like favorite, like it was like to play it, or was it like your favorite weapon that you while you were making it?
Both. I think both.
Both of them.
This weapon
Then it must
has
be
an
perfect.
interesting story behind it.
Interesting story.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will be telling this story
Mhm.
a little while afterwards. So
And the last one,
yes.
which is this Nilven launcher.
Yeah, someone said
Wow.
they are waiting for the cup. I do have a mug with me today.
You have a cup? Do you have a
Yeah,
cup?
I have.
Oh.
Do you have a mug too? Because we need to drink water.
I have a lid.
It's
little
summer, and
Yeah,
we have
it's
to. You have to
summer.
stay hydrated in summer, right? So, yeah, I have all kinds of mugs. Yeah. So, which one is this one? Like Nilven?
Nilven launcher.
Okay.
Frag. And I have to say, with the explanation of this weapon, I will reveal something today.
Really?
Really?
Is it like a world exclusive kind of reveal?
It's a world exclusive.
It's a world exclusive. Wow. Even me, I don't know what is it that you're revealing. So
yeah.
it's really exclusive, guys. So at least you know. I hope you. At
I
least
think
you know.
so. I hope I remember.
If not, it's going to be a bit difficult. So yes. So I don't know. While we wait, we can. If we could have some, I don't know, questions from people.
Yeah.
You guys behind there. If someone's asking something, of course.
To this.
So yeah.
All right. Now it's better.
Sure, it's hot here.
Yeah, it's so hot.
Yeah, it's
You didn't advise me.
Spain. It's summer and we're in Spain. So what did you expect? Okay. So yeah.
Well,
So I don't know. Like
Oh,
I was
nice.
I was about to start interviewing you, but
so the enemy with
this is the enemy within.
Okay. Shall we start playing?
Sure.
Okay.
Don't make them wait.
Which character shall I choose? Maybe Soma.
Soma is fine for this one. Okay.
Yeah, maybe Soma.
So someone will be trying Catharsis then.
Sure.
Your favorite weapon ever.
My favorite weapon.
So yeah. Why use Catharsis? That you mean like now? Why use it now? Well, it's mainly because you want to explain us some behind
Yeah,
the
I
scenes
think
stuff.
so, and I think it's of the three weapons is the best for this mission because Rack's missile launcher is not so useful in this mission. I
Okay.
think. What the weapons? I can make a bounce based on vision.
Yeah, let's read out loud. There's a question from Requiem AQ. Why do weapons like Invicta bounce based on visual terrain?
Okay, it's I think it's because this makes the weapon the bounce feature more predictable. You know, because if you have some inclination, you can predict how it's going to bounce the sphere, the projectile.
Okay.
And if we use another kind of collisions, not visuals, it could make like a strange movement, strange bounces that you cannot predict.
So just to clarify, the visual kind of collision is the one that we actually see in the meshes of the level of the game, right?
Sure, yeah.
So visual is like if there's like some detail here, that's like the visual.
The visual. If there's
Okay.
like hole in the wall,
Yeah, there's like a little hole or something. That's
the
in there too.
visual.
And the other kind of collision, it would be like a simplified version of that.
Yeah, we call it like logic collision, and it's the one we use, for example, for the mines of Ayana, for example, because if not, that will be complicated to put the mine exactly where you want.
Okay, so it's like the visual has like way more detail, but that's also
Sure.
one of the reasons why it sometimes may become a bit more chaotic.
Of course,
Sometimes.
but in this case,
and the logical is like more simple, but also since it's less accurate.
It's
So if
less
if
accurate.
you're aiming for accuracy, then it's we don't use that, right?
yeah, sure.
Okay. So yes, Spacelords here has a question for us, and he's asking: many weapons follow similar patterns. Many characters have healing weapons, mine-based weapons. Will more characters have similar weapons?
Definitely yes. I mean, we always try to cover like different gaps for each Jesus Christ, for each character. Sorry. So we try to for every character to have different gameplay styles. So definitely, yeah, we will continue creating different weapons for each character to cover different gaps. Always, of course, gaps we consider interesting for that character.
Yeah, because it's not like all characters must have like the same
Exactly.
pattern of weapons. I like this is
Exactly.
like the healing weapon for this guy, not necessarily,
Not
right?
necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really interesting question because you're the weapon guy. So today I'm
Yeah.
learning like a lot of stuff with you.
I will have to drink a lot of water today.
Yeah, you'll be speaking a lot. That I can tell. So yeah, we are cute, right?
Yeah.
Just
we are
double check it.
cute.
Just okay, we're not messing. Okay, so we'll just wait and keep getting questions in. So Paris Sands is asking, will there ever be a better way to farm blueprints, gold, experience points, talent points, and basically like all kind of rewards, right?
Yeah.
It's like blueprints, gold. So yeah, actually there are some of these systems are a bit under work right now. We are currently changing stuff up, and some really drastic changes actually
Yeah.
will kick in whenever the next update, the heavy metal update kicks in.
Okay.
So when the heavy metal update kicks in, the way in which you spend talent points in order to unlock talents will be different and hopefully better. And the way you unlock weapons, it will also be based in a different system that will be it's meant to be more flexible. Basically, both systems are meant to be more flexible. so that they
Well,
let you choose. Oh,
again.
you have really bad luck today.
Yeah.
So you will be able to choose among more options instead of being so strict like this. Like, oh, you got this weapon, this blueprint from this weapon, so you can only build this weapon. It's going to be like a wider range of playable options. When I say playable, I'm not saying like in during the mission, but in the menus, and when you build the weapons and all that stuff. So heavy metal will be one of the updates that will focus on improving that. And afterwards, the Epic Forge one, as you probably already guessed,
Yeah.
it's based on it's basically like the main idea behind the update is reworking and improving the Forge system. So it's also linked to weapon building, of course. So yeah. We have any questions from Provolone or Provol1 Ranger. I'm never sure how your nick is pronounced. So, will we ever see wild Nilbin in the environment of future missions?
Wow.
I don't know. You gotta tell me about this Nilbin thing because it comes right from Ragmayura's lore background, right?
Yeah, and also the Nilban launcher.
That's the Nilbin launcher.
Yeah,
okay.
so this creature that you launch, these are the
These are
Nilbans.
the action Nilbin. Okay, so I don't know. We may have them in the future. Who knows?
I don't know.
There's still so many ideas that we have in the works, but I'm not sure Nilbin are among them. But I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no because you never know.
Yeah,
You know?
I would love for sure to have Nilban
A
on,
Nilbin
on the ground.
on the background and stuff. So
Yeah.
hey, you got to choose so much. Sorry, sometimes things go unexpectedly
Yeah.
fast. So yeah, we have Catharsis equipped, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll be playing as a Fistful of Sand. Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Before you give us some insight on the creation process of this weapon, how was the name again? Invicta?
Well,
Sorry, Catharsis,
Catharsis,
right?
yeah.
Sorry, I have it wrong down here. So I will be speaking about Breath of Hope. So yeah, what about Breath? Before I start that, sorry, there's like a totally unrelated question, so I'd rather answer it right now. So not X Insane is asking, is there any work done on a card rework? There are way too many cards, and we can only choose 2 per mission, which kind of defeats their purpose. Well, the thing is that we are really focused on some rework on the way that you unlock different talent cards, not necessarily on the amount of cards that you have equipped. There would still be like faction talent cards and character talent cards. So we are more focused on letting you guys experimentate a bit more, because right now, since it's so RNG based, and it can be really expensive to get a card just in order to test it, because you may have to re-roll the card for so many times if you have like bad luck. It's not something that you can control, right? So we are aiming towards a system that has like way more flexibility and there's like more
control.
freedom. Yeah, more control. It's actually more control, and it's not RNG based. It's not based on some random algorithm. It's more like you choose whatever you want to try. So it will be easier to try among the huge how do you say abanico? How do you like the different, the huge amount of different cards. It will be easier to test some of them. And yeah, there's a question weapon. Well, I can totally ask you while you play.
Okay.
So Avalop here is asking a question. Do you guys ever consider buffing or reworking weapon like Alicia Ziegler or Hans Worm that the majority of the community writes off as pointless to even use?
Okay, so yeah, with this next update, we are going to balance on weapon, and as you know, we always make these changes based on the data we collect. So sure, I don't remember now if they are in the group, but I think so. They will definitely get some kind of buff, if I remember well. which
So
my memory is not.
it may be on
Yeah,
works, but
I think Worm for sure. I cannot sure Alicia's one, but yeah, probably if definitely if there is a lack of, I don't know, damage, it will be buff for sure.
yeah, also on if I'm not mistaken about Hans' worm weapon, we were also investigating some kind of bug that maybe could affect damage or something like that, right? I think we were, but I'd rather leave it to the you know, like the update next update's patch notes, because maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, it's a bit too detailed, and we tend to forget about this kind of stuff because we are reworking so many different weapons and stuff at the same time.
Yeah, this
So,
update.
about this level, I really want to speak about this mission because I have really fond memories. This is one of the first missions that I was you know, working on back in the beginning of the project. And I remember we had a meeting, and they called me for a meeting, and we were there were like some brainstorming sessions going on about this mission that would focus around freeing someone who is like a prisoner in some kind of a security facility or something like that. And I remember back in the day, like right now in this mission, you start and you are already there. Like Cortez leaves you right there, and you just start checking who is the protector here. But you know, in the first early days, just when nothing was developed, it was just, you know, ideas, you know, being talked and all that stuff. I remember there used to be like some idea about getting to this place in some kind of like a huge elevator thing that would go, you know, it would hang through by some kind of cable, and you would be moving like around a valley or something like that. I don't know. It was a really old kind of idea, but you would have to get to this facility. You would not start there, and afterwards you would get to rescue some kind of prisoner, and there would be like security cameras or something like that. To me, it kind of felt like some sort of infiltration kind of thing, but more action-packed. And I remember that, you know, back when they were telling me this in really abstract terms, I imagined like some kind of prison, and you know, it's dark and it's night, and there are like security cameras. But at the end, it's like so different from what we initially planned. There's still the core concept is the same, though.
I think
you
so.
have to rescue this guy. And
I remember this concept with the sand falling.
Yeah, but that was way before those concepts. I'm speaking
really?
about really
Wow.
high level, really old ideas before concept arts were even made for this level. Afterwards, I saw the concept art and I was like, oh, okay, so it's, you know, daytime and it's not like a prison, more like a factory or something like that. So that's, you know, that's just an example of how things evolve as you keep developing the game. You know, at the beginning it may look like something, but then it totally changes. So I can totally, if you want me to, you can start speaking about Catharsis, so I can play for you if you want.
Yeah, because
it's really hard. Like
it's
to
really
speak
hard.
and play at the same time. So
yeah, so Catharsis. When we started to think about these Soma's weapons, we have in mind that the gold one, the rare, should be a weapon which fit well with Soma's power. So we started to think like, okay, what if we have to define what Soma does in a few words? What will be? And first we think like, okay, so Soma protects her allies. So yeah, we started to prototyping with this that thing in mind. And the first weapon we prototyped the first iteration of Catharsis was a weapon which can shield your allies, but this was discarded soon because, you know, we wanted a weapon related with Soma's power, but not exactly the same as her power.
yeah,
So we took a step back, and thought again. Okay, Soma used her power to protect their people, but that's not really her power. It's just the way she uses it. Soma is more like absorbing damage, absorbing pain. So we started again, and we tried to put this concept like, okay, absorbing damage, but we thought, okay, let's try to change the point of view of this thing. So instead of thinking about absorbing pain of your allies, we thought, what happened if we put this somehow in the point of view of the enemies? So that's with this in mind, we finally get to this charging profile of the weapon, which in some way absorbs the damage. You don't do damage to an enemy, and then it's like the enemies contract a debt with you, and then you can pay it back with interest, of course. So yeah, and essentially was that, because just once we have this charging profile, the rest just was iterations and touching numbers. And one cool thing about this weapon, I think, Hernán, in game development, we recycle a lot of stuff. We use systems to do different things, the same system.
Sure.
So this happened also with this weapon, but in an interesting way, because we already have like weapons with charging profiles like Granny of Mika, but for technological reasons, none of these weapons serve to exactly the thing we wanted to do. So this weapon is built from the same architecture than the Ginevra's crossbows. So, and I think that's really cool. Yeah, the charging profile uses the same system of the crossbow tightening, and I think that's really cool, because every time you guys fight against a Ginevra or see a Ginevra, think that the weapons she's using are built has the same structure than this Catharsis. I think it's really cool, and this speak about the versatility of this game development stuff, and
especially when it comes to weapon developing. It's all about building different kind of systems and then reusing them in different ways, and also like trying to iterate them and maybe add some options or change some features of them. So yeah. So we have a question. This is Probal 1 Ranger. Does Catharsis use the pain meter normally like her other gun, or does it only change from alternate fire? Alternate fire is this one.
Yeah, does Catharsis use a pain meter normally like her other guns? You mean the pain meter of the Soma's power?
Yeah, I think it's
guess.
about Soma's power.
Yeah, I think it uses on like we tried to separate both things, like weapons. Catharsis works like by itself, and the weapon and the Soma's power works also by itself. So it's like it's not about the weapon. It's just wow. Really, I don't really. I think I got it.
Now you got it.
I think so. You mean Catharsis apply the damage multiplier only on fire mode,
or
not in charge mode.
Fire mode. Yeah.
I think could be that.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the question.
Yeah, I think so. One of the things we also have to think about this weapon is this weapon can charge the damage, so it should have like some visual feedback, but Soma's power also charge your power and also has some visual feedback. So we always try to separate this, like, okay, we have to development a system for this Soma's power bonus, and Catharsis. That was all. Yeah, and Catharsis, the visual feedback you get is just from the weapon, so you don't get confused with the so much power.
Okay, so waifu Charlotte here is asking, Catharsis has the worst critic chance out of any critic gun. Critic chance, I guess, out of any critic chance in any forge of any gun in the game. If the critic and the critic chance got buffed, I think it would be in a better spot. What do you all think about that?
Well, we don't usually change the forge values of the weapon, but yeah, it could be something to consider if if Catharsis needs to be buffed. That could be a good way. But maybe there are another ways also to buff the weapon. When we buff weapons, we always try to not only to improve just damage or crit chance. We always try. Sometimes we can't, but we always try to improve the gameplay, the overall gameplay, not only the numbers.
Okay.
But we don't usually touch the forge numbers.
Okay, I see. So are we leveling? Oh,
level
here
up.
we are. That's 2k for us. So yeah, let's queue here. We have
Which
like
one?
low blow and enemy within. Let's try to
Nice.
play some of these too. And we played Catharsis, so we are still there's still Invicta and Nilbel launcher that we have to play with.
Yeah, I
This
think
one over
Invicta can be a nice choice now.
I think so. Fire snail. That's a really cool looking weapon. It's so it screams rack, you know. It's so him. You know?
With the tentacles.
It's like it's kinda old and thick. I don't know how to say it. That's a really weird way of describing rack. Sorry. So Quanrier79 is asking question: is Sadu perhaps too good? Sadu is one of Shay's weapon, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. I see it far too often during matches, and it seems people are not bothering with her other weapons.
Yeah, we this I know for sure. We are going to make some changes for Shadow for the next update, because it's a little bit underpowered. Overpowered, and definitely yes.
Okay, and Sergey, hey, how are you doing? So he's asking question: any buffs for Last Vial, which is a Suma's
Default
Suma's
weapon?
base weapon?
Yeah, sure. Also, we try to do like a strange thing with this weapon, strange gameplay, because it's like to maximize the damage you have to shoot to fail, because when the projectiles of this weapon touch the ground, they create like this area of damage, but it feels still too rough to use. So yeah, we are doing something with it.
Okay, I see.
Wow.
So wow, that's a Provolone Rangers asking. Looking at Bella's Worms shirt, if you could put a Worms weapon in the Spacelords, what weapon would it be? Wow, there were so many crazy weapons in Worms.
Maybe
Okay,
the
that's
banana.
Maybe the banana.
Yeah, so you can throw to the feet of your enemies.
Yeah, I really like the holy grenade though.
Yeah.
The build-up was impressive, like oh, hallelujah, and then it's a really great video game with really great weapons. So yeah, we'll be playing low blow. Low blow. What about low blow? Yes. Okay, we have to try to select rack as fast as possible. We have some tea.
Okay, let me answer Nightly Cat.
That's
With Catharsis, what was the thought process for making the weapon have its own method instead of having the weapon mechanics just work out of the method?
I guess he or she is asking like have the mechanics for the ability linked
Yeah.
into the mechanics of charging the weapon, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That's a really complicated question.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what I said is we always try to separate the unless it's intentional, try to separate the character's power from the weapons. So with Catharsis, it was quite thought to not overpower the weapon in terms of damage, because if you have like with Soma the maximum multiplier to your damage, and also with the Catharsis you have also the maximum capacity of damage, it was dangerous, because you can definitely do a lot of damage. But yeah, that was it was really a tough process in terms of playing a lot with the weapon to feel the real power, and we did a lot of tests with the weapon, to avoid that.
So I really like this question because it's really also really difficult to answer. Like Sergey is asking, how long does it usually take to develop a new gun? Which is really complicated because there are so many things going on in parallel, right?
Yeah, there are so many things, and at some point, it's like everyone starts on its own, on his own, like the FX.
Who is everyone?
Well, yeah, we have the concept artists, the 3D guys, the FX guys, QA, with the designers, programmers, of course. So it's like it's a more parallel process that it could
initially seem okay.
Yeah. But it's true that at what point your ways cross, so you end up having to wait to some FX or some new programming implementation. So yeah, it's a difficult. It's not difficult because to answer this question is just it's too variable. Sometimes we prototype something that we like it from the very beginning, so everything goes fine from the very first. But other times it's just you have to try again, different prototypes.
But at least when it comes to you, I mean, I guess sometimes like you're prototyping a gun, there's still no 3D model for the gun, right? So you're trying to you build a gun, you prototype it, I guess you try it within a match or something, you say, oh, this is not that interesting, right? So you iterate on that. Like how long does like each iteration of those like take? It's like a week, like
maybe to say just a concrete number, maybe a week, maybe a week.
So when it comes just to you, it's
just for me, just for the to get the final prototype to work on, it's maybe a week.
Okay, I see. So I'm already using the Noodle launcher, but I'm really bad with the Noodle launcher, I must tell you. What can you tell us about the making of this weapon?
What
about it?
This is a special weapon for me because we always try to do like crazy stuff sometimes, and we were thinking to make this bizarre weapon which launches monsters, and the thing is we designed it to be played like just for fun, to have a good time. If you are seeing, we put like a lot of weight in the monster.
Yeah, that's right.
and it falls so quickly, so it's hard to predict the curve. But so yeah, the it's like the prototyping and the development phase of this weapon was not hard because we have in mind what we want to do, what we wanted to do. But the great thing about this weapon is, as I said, we built it with just the play, just for fun, just to play differently, just to have no complications, no, just play it, just have fun, okay? So once we reveal it and put it on live on the game, the first time we checked the data of this weapon, was a really cool surprise because not only a lot of players were using it, but also it was one of the best weapons in the game. So this strange, weird weapon built for fun became one of the best weapons of the game, and it's something really cool about you guys, our players, that we always design with some purpose in mind, some gameplay style in mind, but you always reach to another level. You create new ways to play, efficient ways to play, and that impressed me a lot, really.
Unexpected things happen, right?
Unexpected things happen, yeah, but usually cool things.
So yeah, but I do have a question though, because it really ties directly to a previous question that you had answered before. Like they ask you about like different kind of templates for weapons. Like this is the healer weapon. This is the area of damage kind of weapon. And this is really interesting stuff that you're explaining here. Like, this is like more like a crazy kind of weapon.
It's
more
experimental.
It's like experimental. Like, which other example could you give us? Like, which other weapon kind of follows this same philosophy in the game?
Bloody Mary, with no doubt. The Doldrums.
Okay, Bloody Mary for Doldrum.
That was our first bizarre weapon.
That was the first bizarre weapon.
And I have something to say.
What about shit happens? Like a shit happens.
Well,
with the whole like a crosser thing moving. Was that experimental?
It's maybe a shy approach to this kind of bizarre.
Shy approach.
But speaking about Lycus, I want to showcase something quickly.
Oh yeah.
And with these kind of things that these weapons are being well received by our community, that encourage us to still creating. And I wanted to showcase a bit the next gold weapon for Lycus, which I cannot give specifics because it's an early prototype phase, so don't expect it too soon, but I can promise you it will be crazy weapon. And you will love it.
You're building a crazy weapon again.
Yeah, and
I'm scared now because this is a really weird weapon. So was that the world exclusive?
That's the world exclusive. I'm a big fan of our community theories.
Okay.
So I will give at least the name that the weapon will have.
The Lycus weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a name already?
I have a name, and it's
Karma.
Karma. So yeah. I want you to start to
start guessing. What's Karma about?
That's Karma about.
That's Karma is it really gives away some information already of how it could work. Yeah. So we have some questions, right?
Oh, we totally forgot that. The next weapon. We have to reveal our weapon.
Are we doing like another reveal? We have so many reveals.
Exclusives.
Sorry, I'm so confused now. Yeah, we will be doing some. If I get this right, we will be doing some new weapon reveal, really an upcoming weapon. Yeah. But that will be after our matches, right?
Okay.
After we play, we will be revealing a new weapon. Should we say the character?
Okay.
For the weapon?
Why not?
Just so it will be Dr. Kuzman's weapon.
I want
world exclusive. You were doing drum rolls. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
Sorry, I'm not used to drum rolls. More like world exclusive kind of voice, like.
Okay.
So yeah, Bella, please.
This,
because I can give some behind the scenes insight on the making on this game the game, the mission. Yeah, I didn't make the whole game, so. But before that, there are so many cool questions. Can I ask you while you're playing? Are you okay
sure,
with that?
Totally. I'm ready.
So Sergey, hey, once again, question: what goes into designing who gets a weapon that can damage yourself and who doesn't. Like Nilvan for Rak and Malik for Ayana don't damage their own users,
Okay, yeah.
but something for Hans does. Tarask? What?
I think, yeah, Taras, yeah.
Tarask, that's the one. Yeah, and also like Loath has
Yeah.
some weapons. Yeah, what makes you decide, oh, this weapon's gonna harm yourself and this other isn't?
Well, in the case of Loath, it's evident. I mean, it's about his power.
Yeah, it's
He
about
has to get
harming
damage
himself.
to,
Yeah.
to charge his power. But in the other cases, we have this like design concept of like how you like damage pot,
Damage
like,
pot.
or something. I don't know how to say. It's like our the wow. It's like the
It's really. Can I can play for a while. Yeah, you answer the question.
okay, yeah, it's
Don't worry about it.
yeah, it's like the total amount of power of a character. Okay, so this is divided into his or her own power, his ability, his and also his weapons. So when we wanted to do, for example, with Aneska, we wanted Aneska to be a strong character, like a level dominating, a position dominating character, with the mech, with all of this stuff. She can do a lot of things. So in this case, you have to put some trade-offs. If you because in the other hand, you always have to reduce the amount of damage of the weapons or other kind of things. But to avoid these decisions, we sometimes do this of the damage itself feature, which allows us to maintain the character original power, the power we wanted to have. So that's it.
Okay.
If you want to speak about the
Oh
mission.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There are so
Thank
many,
you for this.
but there are so many
Oh,
cool
survey
weapon questions. Yeah, sorry,
Oh,
I
come
got
on,
myself
don't.
killed by the antagonist. Sorry. Maybe I screwed up.
No, Dalton will save the
Yeah,
day.
Dalton will save the day. Sure, he will. So yeah, about this mission, this is like the first time that we did a mission in which you had like to assault some fortificated people. Like there's people actually waiting for you and not coming for you. I know this sounds like not like a drastic change in the AI behavior, but actually, back in the day, we didn't have this kind of behaviors when it came to AI foes. So we did have the AI department had to develop like new behaviors. So they would just try to hold their position, And afterwards, after you come for the and you beat the Hades division troops, the mutants here, the war dogs here, they would get, they would break through the lines and come, like running like crazy. So that would be like the original AI behavior. It was really interesting to do because this initial kind of situation, there's like this Hades division that are kind of like slowly losing the combat, this firefight against the war dogs, and you're like in the middle. So that was like a really interesting concept that really wasn't in the beginning. From the beginning when we started making the mission, it was mainly about just trying to kill the Hades division guys before you could actually see any war dog troops. But we found it was like more, even though it was more costly when it comes to development times because of the new AI behaviors that we had to develop, we found it would be way cooler if there would be like a countdown and like this horde is coming for you, but you start seeing the different war dog enemies, as you keep also pushing through the enemy lines that are Hades division troops. And also, I also recall that at extremely early concept for the mission, really high level, it was actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I may be saying this wrong, but I somehow recall it. It wasn't like Ayana wasn't the protagonist of this
I remember
mission,
that.
but more like Mika.
Yeah.
But that was only on paper, though. We never developed that. So at the end, the cutscenes after the screen in which you recruit a new raider, they were Ayana's instead of Mika's. So, but that was, we never actually do that. But that's a really cool, like anecdote here.
Yeah, I think so.
Sometimes, as I told you before, like the first day that
Ah.
you start like brainstorming stuff, it's
I
so
remember
very
that
different.
the key name of this level was Micah.
Yeah, it was something like Mika or Mika something,
Yeah.
and then it but it was like really early. That was just like a initial game design documents. So it really wasn't developed like that at any time. So you finished. You're really good, right? You won, right?
Yeah.
Did you win? You really did win. Wow. It totally shows that you made the Nilbel launcher. So there are more questions, and there's Quandrian is asking something about weapons. It's like question because Nilbel is something like acid. Was there a damage over time version that would be more like a poison weapon?
Wow.
Was there? I guess he was asking if in
Yeah.
any of the iterations there was that concept, like dealing like a poison.
No, not really. For some reason, we always wanted to, in the Nilben to launch fire. Oh, I remember that. In this Nilben beings
Yes.
appears in the Rax lore,
Yeah, in the universe.
In the
entries.
universe, yeah.
That's right.
and also in Kuzman universe.
Really?
Really, and in the Kuzman universe, in one of the weapons stories, it said that Kuzman got saved by a Nilben underwater.
That's when
Yeah.
he was underwater.
And
Yeah, I
it's-
recall that.
And
now.
it's underwater where the Nilben launch the acid. So we thought, okay, if you are going to launch Nilben not in the water but in the normal terrain,
Yeah.
they won't use acid but fire.
But more like fire.
Because, okay, this kind of...
Just like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it really looks like you got a bit crazy this
yeah,
weapon in
sometimes.
summer. At some point.
At some point.
If you needed help, you could have just told me. I never knew it was such a deranging kind of process. So there are more questions. There's a really general question that I really like, Prolong Ranger. Where does weapon development typically start? Lore mechanics art. I'm not sure it's the same order for. It has been the same order for all weapons, but you're the weapon guy, so.
Yeah, sometimes it changes, but typically it's the early design, like in paper. It's more like a brainstorming phase. We just discuss some ideas,
Okay.
and then we make like short prototypes, fast prototypes, and once we get something we like,
Yeah.
we like put all the departments on fire, and we just start to the concept art department starts to concept.
So it seems like the first one are the design guys. It's you.
Yeah, it's
and
more
some other
like
guys,
the
right?
the
like
prototype
speaking
phase.
like which
Yeah.
kind of weapon should we do
Yeah,
next?
in the very
and all that
very
stuff.
early stage.
Okay.
But it's true that the weapon itself it's started by concept artists.
Visually speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, we have so many questions. Question. I know Soma was released recently, but are there any plans for a new skin or weapon of her? I'm really not the weapon guy because you're the weapon guy,
And the
but
weapon guy.
I'm not the skin guy either. But
Yeah.
yeah, we can totally confirm there are some
Yeah.
really cool skins coming for Soma. I'm not sure on the release date, so I won't say anything. But
Yeah.
because I
don't
really don't know. But I saw some of them, and they are like really crazily cool. And about weapons, about new weapons for Soma, I don't know. You're the weapon guy.
Well, you know that every character will have 5 weapons. That's
Okay.
like what we are being done. But well, I cannot. Of course, Soma will have new weapons. Okay,
Okay.
but it won't be too soon. But maybe not too later either. Okay, so keep tuned. No, we are trying things.
Okay.
We are trying things.
You're still okay. So, okay. So yeah, there are like more questions. Ninmak here is asking, will Wasp will be reworked or buffed somehow?
I think not in this update. So no, this weapon for the moment is not in our plans. But who knows? Maybe it's like we for every update we select a list of weapons, and I think Wasp is not actually in the next update list.
Okay, I see.
Oh, you have a question for you.
That's the same
At
for
least.
me. Well, it's not bad. So yeah, to have questions for you because it's really interesting. So, Prolong Ranger, same question for mission design. Does it start from a story or a level design perspective? Um, Such a good question. I myself, I'm doubting right now. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure it comes more from the overall story. Like we would have documents written really early on, really at the concept stage, even before the actual concept art was being made, but also during that phase in which we would have like a really high level description of what was going on. You know, as I told you before, like in a fistful of sand, that we have a level here in which you will be rescuing our guides, really important guides, kind of like a wizard of sorts of the Broken Planet. So even before the story was like fully written and it had like full detail on it, there was definitely some narrative behind, some story core behind each mission's ideas. That was definitely the first, and level design came afterwards, and then we would keep iterating in a parallel fashion the actual 3D level design with the mission design. And sometimes the mission design we would get some little things changed here and there, like sometimes even story related things, but not like super relevant stuff. It was more like, oh, maybe we could have like this dialogue line for Cortez in which he could explain some of the mission objectives with a little bit of story background or a little bit of characterization. So we would, while we were actually like designing the missions and iterating and implementing and trying what worked and what not, we would write new dialogue lines for those missions, and we would have to get localization afterwards and voice recording afterwards. So that even though the story came first, during the different iterations we would change some little bits of the story, and in some other instances there would be like a more drastic change because of gameplay decisions, but not in this level, for instance, not in the ones that we played already. So whenever we play one of those weirder levels when it comes to how we developed it, I will gladly go into detail. So we are playing here, this is the Enemy Within, and you're playing with an Eska, and you're wielding Invicta. Should I play so you can answer some stuff?
Right.
And also explain whatever you want to tell about Invicta's development.
Okay, so with Invicta, it's the first Aneska's gold weapon. So we wanted to build something really special for her. Like, to put in context, we were building a weapon for the most anticipated character we've ever had in the game.
Okay.
So we felt like the pressure. We wanted to do the things right.
Okay.
In fact, one of the things I wanted to say is that that Aneska is the character with more weapon prototypes we have.
Ever? Really?
With-
How come? Why is
Yeah.
that?
We developed a lot of prototypes for Aneska because we wanted to do something great, something
Okay.
memorable. And so, yeah, when we first came to the first version of Invicta, we already knew that we wanted a projectile weapon which launches spheres that you can trigger and explode. So the first iteration was just that. You can launch spheres and detonate it whenever you want. But
Okay.
yeah, this really didn't have like a skill cap. It was really like boring because you just have to like throw a sphere and detonate it like 3 seconds after
But what
in
would,
front of you.
what would happen to the spear when it touched the ground or the wall or
Yeah.
something? Would it bounce like that?
No, it disappeared.
Okay.
So then we implemented the bouncer, which at
Okay.
the first iteration also was just one bounce. So the sphere
Okay, just a
just
single
bounced
bounce.
once. And there was something really cool, in my opinion, here that was that the sphere bounced in slow motion. So when the
Okay.
sphere touched the ground, was like it slowed a lot its movement, and it was like a really slow motion, cool effect, visual
Okay.
effect. But in terms of gameplay, it didn't work because this game is so fast paced.
Okay.
Enemies are moving every time, so it's hard to. It was really context based weapon, and we didn't want this. We want like the weapon Aneska will bring to a battlefield.
Okay.
So finally, we removed this slow-mo feature. We implemented another bounce because we thought, oh, maybe our pro players find creative ways to use these two bounces and create spectacular plays.
Okay.
So we removed that, and we added the second bounce. We removed the slow motion, and that's was
Okay.
all. And the rest of the prototyping was just iteration, tuning numbers. And one thing cool is that spheres were so hard to aim when they bounce it. So it's like the spheres have now two layers: the visual layer, but also
Okay.
the detection layer for your crosshair, which is actually a lot
Bigger.
than the sphere. If you do the bounce, you can,
Trying to.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
See? Because
we
it
could
was
see
really hard to aim well with at that speed.
So that's like a way to make it more comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess, I'm really surprised. I didn't know that Aneska was the character that you made the most iterations for.
Yeah, it was a really
A nightmare.
some
So-
kind of nightmare because we discard a lot of things.
Yeah. But also I think it really fits really well what you did here, like really kind of unusual weapons, because to me it feels kind of elitist in a way. It's really
that's it.
hard to play like this. Because it really requires like a lot of skill, so it kind of aligns the player with a little bit with Aneska's own mentality or
Yeah, we try
personality.
the players to really be Aneska.
Because it's like a really elitist kind of soldier girl,
Yeah.
like so.
the perfect soldier.
Yeah,
Her.
she's kind of like the perfect. So you have to be the perfect soldier too in order to play as her.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And what about the result? Because you told us you felt so much pressure. What about the result? Are you happy with?
Yeah,
how
I
it came to
think
be?
Aneska will be happy with this
Aneska
weapon
herself,
if
okay.
we ask her.
She's not too
definitely.
talkative though. I
No,
must tell
no.
you.
No.
Yeah, sometimes I
She maybe
speak to
beat
her,
me.
but never. Okay,
To say thank you.
nah, she's not so violent. Come on, she's a good girl after all. So yeah, Bella, if you could grab my gamepad here,
Of course.
so I can speak about the mission itself because it's really hard to. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, what about this one? This one was like the first boss fight that we ever developed for the game, and for us it was really a game changer because we already back in the day when we were developing this level, the enemy within, we already had like a solid uh, core of gameplay. We had like this third-person shooter. It featured covers. It had like CQC mechanics, and everything kind of worked fine and interconnected in a way that we liked. We found interesting. But the thing is that we were lacking like some an essential ingredient that it's always featured in all of in most of the in all of the most iconic titles made by Mercury's team, which are like the huge ass bosses, final bosses fights. So we were trying to think how could we bring this epicness that you could find in previous Mercury's team titles. How can we fit this within some kind of a like cover-based shooter with a heavy melee component, melee or CQC, whatever, with a heavy CQC mechanics focus, and we started iterating some ideas, and we tied it with the Earth's narrative, like there could be like some giant evil final boss that would clone yourself, so you would have to fight against yourself. And I remember at the beginning, like this entity would make clones of you, and it would just send the clones back to you in order to attack you and kill you. But instead of just making some firefight, we thought, maybe they could, like maybe they could not be wielding guns, so it would be more like a CQC based kind of final boss. So you would have to use the CQC mechanics in order to get some Aleph, and then use the Aleph in order to expose some vulnerable little things or something that you could afterwards shoot. So that's how we kept adding pieces until we could have like a really huge kind of enemy, but that in order to beat it you would still have to use like CQC mechanics, instead of as you can already see and feel if you play this level, we really didn't focus that much on cover, since at the end the Erzbeherit's acolytes really they don't wield the gun, so they are not shooting at you. And we discarded this idea because we thought CQC was more interesting. It made it more special because if you had like played against antagonists, there's already when you're playing against an antagonist, this element of taking cover and shooting and all that stuff. So we thought we would give it like a special twist here, and we made this magical teleport that you get into this kind of weird dimension, this cave-like scenario in which you have like an intimate CQC moment, and then afterwards you go back to the chaos, back to the deadly final boss. So that was really hard to tackle, but after this one, the rest of the remaining final bosses that we had to develop, which were still quite a few, the cool thing is that we used what we learned from developing this one, which was like a lot of stuff, in each one of these iterations. So yeah, and we have some questions here. Sergey is asking, will the new gun for Lycos go with his new naked skin?
Wow.
I don't know, the name of the weapon was Karma.
Karma.
Right? I don't know Karma if it was called Nudist or something like that, but I'm not sure about Karma though. So yeah. And there's also like someone's asking about Valeria's weapon too.
Yeah.
Will it rise from the dead? That's the question. Will it rise from the dead? I'm guessing will it have some kind of buff, the whip?
Which one? Sorry, which
The
weapon?
whip for Valeria?
The whip. Oh, the whip. Oh yeah, that's in the update weapons pack. So yeah, definitely. This weapon it's going to be buffed a
Okay.
little bit. So it will be restored to the equilibrium.
To its original glory, right?
No, not so high.
That's so high. Okay. So yeah, do you have a date for that, like, or
Yeah,
which
it's
kind of a date is
With
it
the
coming?
next update.
Okay, so it will be part of the heavy
Um,
metal update,
yeah.
right? Okay, I see. Oh, I got sorry. I looked at you, and I got killed. This has to be karma. So yeah, there's some new questions. Why for Charlotte? Wow. Question: any estimated arrival time on? I'm trying to read and play at the
Okay, I
same
can
time.
read
like-
it if you want, or I can play it.
Sure, just go for it.
Play. Okay.
You read it.
Any estimated arrival time on
Yes.
Heavy Metal and Epic Forge update? Are they both going to be before the year is over? Okay, so I think Heavy Metal, we can say yes, it's going to be here after the year is over.
After.
Sorry, before. Sorry.
Yeah, we're still not giving exact dates for
No.
for its release, but the thing is that with each and one of the roadmap, updates, milestones, we always try to deliver it as soon as possible. So of course like before at the end of the year, but we still don't have a date. As soon as we, have like. As soon as we are totally sure on when we can deliver each one of those, we will let you know. But I can assure you, we are working really fast in order to keep, keep updates coming in the shorter basis as possible. If you take a look to the latest, sorry, can you? If you take a look to the latest updates that we released within the roadmap. Milestones, you can see like we try to shorten release times as much as we can. It's like it gets shorter every time, so I'm not saying it will get shorter every time, because if not, at the end it will be like one update each day. But we are really aiming for release it as soon as possible. Let's try not to we are not postponing anything, we're not saving anything for afterwards. We're and so right now we still don't have a date, because we're still really into developing heavy metal, and of course we're already some of the staff of the team is also of course working on a later updates such as Epic Forge, and even the posterior ones, the ones that come after that. So yeah, so I'm sorry, we still don't have that kind of info just yet. So yeah, is CQC mechanics gonna get fixed or reworked? Well, yeah, about the CQC mechanics, we have been noticing, mainly because of reports that you all gave us in the different channels that we have opened with you guys, like the official forums, the unofficial Discord, and such. That we found that new bugs arose, bugs that were affecting the CQC mechanics, and some of those bugs are already being worked by some of our programmers, and all of the CQC bug fixing will also be added to the upcoming release update of Heavy Metal. So yeah, we acknowledge there are some little things that weren't working quite properly, and we are already addressing all those problems. But still, if any of you guys have like some videos or some info that you think that could help us, like detect like new CQC related bugs or whatever, some any other kind of bugs, please, you should totally, it would really be useful for us if you went to our official forums, and there's like a bug report sub forum, I think. And if you leave like your video over there and describe what happened, that's really useful for us. So even though we are already fixing some of those bugs, sometimes there are like nasty surprises when it comes to bugs. So please, let let the let I don't know what I'm letting. Sorry, I got lost in the sentence. So yeah, that was pretty much it. So yes. Okay, so I think we
are
are
finishing.
ready.
We are ready.
We played 3 matches. We gave some insight on the behind the scenes of 3 weapons and 3 mission developments. But right now we have something different.
Yeah, world exclusive.
World exclusive. What's the world exclusive?
Okay, so it's gonna be a Kuzman weapon.
A Kuzman weapon.
Yeah, in the last update we improved some Kuzman mechanics, like now the power is more like quickly.
Yeah, it's faster.
It's
Yeah,
faster.
yeah. The electrical trap thing, you can trigger it way faster.
Yeah, so this weapon, it's a weapon which directly related with Kuzman power.
Okay.
Okay, because it's obviously the same ray launcher than the rest of the Kuzman weapons, but if you throw this ray through Kuzman power, it gets intensive. It intensifies.
Oh, so there's a weapon that I have like my electrical trap ability, so I put one of these traps on the ground, right? It's like a cylinder kind of trap.
Yes, and then you go out of the trap.
I get out of the trap and then I shoot, through the trap to some enemy that's on the other side.
Yes.
And then I have like a damage buff for that.
Of course,
That's
will have,
really great. All weapons that you're doing lately are way too crazy. But are you okay? So, and do we have a name for that yet?
Yeah, sure. It's Hypervel. It's a German word.
It's a German. Okay.
Hypervel.
Okay, I really don't know German, so I'm guessing your pronunciation is right.
Yeah.
So I think we are showing a screenshot for all of you guys, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm not seeing it. But if we did show a screenshot, I hope you like the visual style. If it did not, you just imagine it. So yeah, and we still don't have like a release date for that. It's coming soon.
It's coming too soon, but we don't have.
Okay, we will, guys, let you know, as we always do, through one of our channels. Either you can follow us on Twitter. We have like Instagram too, and there's like our official forums and our official webpage, of course, and also the unofficial channels such as the Reddit or the Discord. And I think I'm not forgetting anything because I said so much stuff already.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we are pretty much done.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Weapon
here.
guy and mission guy. So we would, before we say goodbye, we would also like to thank our sponsors, which with whom this kind of streaming videos wouldn't be possible. So thank you very much for your help, and also, of course, thank you very much to all of you guys that keep following us and that have been watching this streaming. We hope you had a great time.
Yes,
we definitely
have.
So see you guys soon in some other live stream video. See ya.